Hello, I'm Mike Gordon, and welcome to Perfect Playthroughs, where our objective is to accomplish everything the game has to offer. We're now 2 weeks into Summer of Sega, and with Phantasy Star officially in the books, it's now time for me to select my next Sega RPG. And the game I'm gonna pick is gonna come straight out of my copy of Sega Genesis Classics for the Nintendo Switch. So, which game's gonna be? Well, let's go take a look. Here are the choices I have set up for the favorite section. Since we are only since we're only about 2 weeks into Summer Sega, I want to start with one of the shorter games, as well as a game that I'm actually kind of familiar with. Beyond Oasis, Landstalker, and Shining in the Darkness are all games I'm quite familiar with, but they actually do take a while for me. But they will actually take quite a while to beat. Phantasy Star 2, well, I just got through with Phantasy Star 1, and I'm not terribly familiar with this game quite yet. And the same can be said about, like, Crusader. I don't know how long it'll take me to beat either game. I don't know what it'll take to achieve a perfect playthrough in either game. That just leaves us with Fatal Labyrinth and Sword of Vermillion. And Fatal Labyrinth kind of has one fatal flaw that keeps it from being my go-to choice. It is a good game, don't get me wrong, but ideally it's about as practical to complete this one as, say, Toe Jam and Earl. And it would probably require me breaking a few rules that I have for perfect playthroughs that go on a long time, just to make that one work. And more, see, I don't really know what I would put in for the subtitle, for any of the title cards, what the subtitles would be, in order to help us split them up. So the game I'm gonna choose instead is Sword of Vermillion. Yeah, I do want to go over some of the more familiar games later on, though. But right now, this is the game I want to play. And I actually did give this game a bit of a test run, too, and it could take quite a while to beat. Maybe slightly longer than Phantasy Star 1, which is by far my shortest RPG that I've covered so far here on Perfect Playthroughs. But, you know, it came out at the same time as Final Fantasy 1 or Dragon Quest 2, which are also fairly on the shorter end. Back then, RPGs weren't super, on the console, weren't super long because we didn't know how long it would take to clear those games. But here, where this game came out around the same time as Final Fantasy 4, I guess Final Fantasy 3 in... Alright, let's go on a little longer. So let's start the new game. Oh, I actually tried looking up what the protagonist's name is supposed to be in this game, because I don't want to go around naming my main characters for the entirety of my playthroughs, especially if I'm gonna make a serious perfect playthrough. Apparently there is absolutely no official canon name for our protagonist, but he is the son of a king named Eric. And I think it's spelled E-R-I-K, so I might as well, and you know, royal families like to name their sons after themselves a lot. Henry IV has Henry V, and then Henry VI, and then they're on 7th, 8th, so on and so forth. You know how it all is. Heck, we even got King George V, even though King George III had the reputation of being a madman during the Revolutionary War. King George V, though, was the king that led the British charge, so to speak, during World War II. But I'm getting sidetracked. Let's start. Long ago, Teen Sargon of Carthagena unleashed his evil hordes upon the peaceful land of Excalibria. Though the people of Excalibria fought bravely, in the end they were overwhelmed. As his castle collapsed around him, King Eric V of Excalibria summoned Blade, his most trusted servant. Eric commanded Blade to escape with Eric's infant. Well, I want to read this. Eric's infant. Come on, you stupid cow. With Eric's infant son in the ring. Come on. In the ring of wisdom, and Let me just read this. Eric commanded Blade to escape with Eric's infant son in the Ring of Wisdom, an ancient family heirloom. Finally. Blade slipped out a secret passage as the castle was engulfed in flames. He fled with the babe to a distant village and raised the child as his own. Alright. Sargon vowed to devote all of Cartagena's power to searching for the prince. 18 years have passed and Sargon began a search. And that's where I'm just gonna leave it off for now. Lots of exciting things going on in that game with the prologue and whatnot. I do think the text moved a little too fast for my taste. But hey, I have the Nintendo Switch controller available. I have access to rewind and save states, so I can use them at my leisure. Though, since this is a perfect playthrough, I will try to play the game as intended. Just pardon the use of rewind back there. I just wanted to read all the text myself. So, my perfect playthrough conditions. I have to nab all the best equipment and the best spells for our protagonist. I have to completely fill in every single map in the game. I have to defeat every enemy in the, defeat every boss in the game. Well, I believe they're all mandatory. I have to complete every side quest in the game, which isn't a whole lot. This is an early RPG when Final Fantasy IV was even a thing. What Final Fantasy III did was considered highly ambitious, and the same could be said for Dragon Quest III and IV as well. So Sword of Vermillion is still very much within the early days of Japanese RPGs. The Dragon Warrior 1s and Phantasy Star 1s, so to speak. I need to max out my stats, hit max level. What else? At the very least, I'm going to go gun for as close to max strength as humanly possible. And yes, there is something of an exploit you can use to make that possible, that we will get to the end of the game. And oh yeah, max amount of money, too. Is there anything else? I'm sure I might be missing something for perfect playthrough conditions of Sword of Vermillion, but it'll be my next RPG, so I'm hoping you're all looking forward to that. I will be live streaming this game daily around the late morning, early afternoon sort of periods, just like I did with Phantasy Star 1. So I'm hoping you're all looking forward to that. Leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. And we're getting started first thing tomorrow. Take care.